Howdy, all you delicious people. I'm here today to put together a custom Power Rangers team and just find who would best be suited in a zombie apocalypse environment and justify those choices to you, the viewer. So, honestly, in Power Rangers, a zombie apocalypse has been done in episodes. We'd find the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger episode Z Wave and the Super Dino Charge episode where Coda is to be the last survivor, and he has the robot caveman to use him as an assist. And Coda is to go on and find that he needs to kind of put headphones on all the Rangers to get them back to normal, so that way he can eventually defeat the monsters that episode. Z Waves, it's to go on and just be this uh, large microphoned monster that is to be this like radio broadcaster. So he's like casting this wave over people, and then they all turn into zombies. And then you could also probably just look at like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Leap to My Doom movie, but that's again kind of mind control. So a lot of it's just mind control. It's not actually a zombified, decaying, deceased, they're completely dead, there's no going back kind of thing. So, and then also you have like Death Ranger, Darkest Hour. Uh, that whole Darkest Hour thing of poisoning the morphing grid was kind of interesting. I like that idea. I would probably double down on that and probably say, like, you know what, if I was to do a zombie apocalypse, what I would do is I would kind of take the one thing that connects all the Rangers together and poison it without them knowing it all, but have a Ranger who is to just kind of go through their normal day to day activities, uh, have for every time they touch somebody or their communicator goes off or maybe that they fight nearby somebody, maybe morphing does it, but it would be kind of interesting if every time a Power Ranger is to be nearby other human beings, that is to start off the zombie apocalypse, the zombie virus, just because the radius. So it would be like if a Power Ranger is uh, just kind of radioactive to everybody, and they in turn would become zombies because of it, because the Ranger would be around them. And the Ranger would have no idea that that is even going on. And so, yeah, that would be kind of a really interesting, like, man, that is be so horrible. And the more that the Ranger goes on and tries to help these people out, the worse it gets. The closer they get to them, the worse it gets. So that could be horrifying, and that could be a really uh, just kind of dark way to go about it, but whatever. It could be really interesting also. So let's go on into this list here. So people could go the very easy route and just choose a team. You could probably pick Mystic Force. You could probably pick Time Force because they're from the future, right? They should beat anything because if they're from the future and they go to the past, obviously the past or the future still exists. So whatever happened in the past should already be beaten, right? That should be the clear consensus. Power Rangers RPM live in a kind of apocalypse or a certain kind of environment that is very much wildly different than all the others, and it feels closest to a zombie apocalypse, so RPM must just be able to beat something like this. You could also go the route of saying that every single one of the Power Rangers, the problem with it could be that they could be human. And maybe alien would go on and not affect, if they were to get bitten, that they are to turn into a zombie themselves. Um, because maybe a Power Ranger could be afflicted to become a zombie also, and not have it just be the radius thing, or that they're radioactive or glowing or whatever. So, so we go on, and we could also have it be a robot that you just pick everybody who's a robot who's on a Power Rangers team. You could Robo Knight, Blue Centurion, so on and so forth. The Red Ranger from Operation Overdrive, da 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 da. So that could probably, for some people that just love robots, be fun to you, but it might just not be that creative. Then, of course, you can go on and also just choose the entire team in Power Rangers Turbo when they were to have been robots for a brief time. Uh, because the team had gone on and done this just kind of other mission, and then the Blue Ranger had to figure out that the rest of the team were all robots. And once he figured it out, they had to explain it to him. So, if anything, I just, at the end of all this, I just want to be creative. I just want to come up with characters from different seasons and explain this all. So, let's get to that. So, I'll have 6 like average members, or to be like my core prime team, and then I'll have 4 honorable mentions, because really, like, there's to be 10 maximum rangers, so I'll just kind of do that list that way. Uh, and then after that, like, because the first list will be the real logic list, and then the second list will just be for fun, just to, like, hey, like, if you guys want to listen to this secondary list, just see what other rangers are there, then it's just for fun. I'm just doing this for fun. I'm enjoying these projects lately because I'm just doing them for fun, and people are watching them, and I'm grateful of that. So let's do this. So the first honorable mention of the first list is to be the Lunar Wolf Ranger from Wild Force. Immediately when I saw that long range pull Q attack that he goes on and does in the show, I'm like, that would work well in a zombie apocalypse. I really like the Lunar Wolf Ranger, and I wish he was kind of used in like other kind of stories at some point later on. Like, eventually he was going to be used in like the Legendary Battle, but I guess that just didn't happen. So, plus also the Lunar Wolf could probably have some certain abilities that could really work well in a zombie apocalypse. But anyways, that was my first honorable mention. Because I'm not a, like, I just watched a video today that went on and did like the cliff notes of Wild Force, so I got a gist of the characters, but I still am like, yeah, like, that's not as good as actually just watching the show. Anyways, so the next honorable mention is Dylan from RPM. So, first off, Dylan, I don't think is actually human at some point of Operation Overdrive. Because eventually he ends up becoming 100% cybernetic. So, I don't think he's a human. Uh, we come to find that Dylan is to be like the strongest character as far as me caring about RPM. Um, but there are some fun characters in there. Of course, Dr. K would be like a go-to character if you have a crisis. Like, you better go to Dr. K because she knows freaking everything. Or she's the smartest out of all the other Power Ranger characters that has ever existed. A lot of people say that Dr. K is like the best mentor ever, which I'm like, I don't know about that, but okay, sure. Like, I guess I don't know Dr. K that well. Uh, like, if anything, she has a horrible bedside manner. But anything, it doesn't really matter because if she gets the job done every time, then, anyways. So Dylan has this shield attack. He's not exactly human, and if anything, yeah, like he is to be in this apocalyptic world, right? So it kind of feels very forced to kind of put him in this list. So next honorable mention, we have Tommy Oliver. And what Ranger, it doesn't really matter. Now, does it? It doesn't really matter. You could take the Green Ranger from Mighty Morphin, and he could go on and take out an entire team of putties all by himself. You can go on and you can go White Ranger, and he takes down an entire group of monsters all by himself. You can go Dino Thunder, and he could be at some points invisible and do really well fighting. You can go with Super Ninja Steel, and he has a Master Morpher, and he can become a number of different Rangers at any given time. I'm not quite sure how that really works out as far as uh, of how does that benefit him in a zombie apocalypse, but I guess it might. I guess it might. If anything, I feel that also some people may just go on and just pick the most powerful Power Ranger character and put them in a list to just beat anything. And that is great and all, but that also just is like, it's kind of just like, yeah, like, it's not really being creative enough. Because, yeah, you can go on and take like, you can just have one answer for everything. Um, but then, like, you really don't need to go on and really do your research anymore of Power Rangers. You really don't need to go on and have a good strategy anymore. And I think it just doesn't bring anything to Power Rangers after that, where it's like, oh yeah, I've kind of learned everything that I could learn about this show, um, because all I need to know is who the strongest people are, and I don't need to know anything else. Like, man, if I could just go on, and if I could just get Lee and Bo, and oh man, if I could just have all the Master Morpher guys come in, and or Morphin Masters, I'm sorry. If I could just have all them come in and just wipe out these zombies, then like, wow, I'll choose all of them. I don't know. So, but if I am to choose, I'll probably go with the White Ranger Tommy, where he can go on and just take out all the monsters as a group by himself. Because if anything, like, I don't think that Doctor Tommy Oliver, even though the invisible thing would be a nice perk, like, I don't think that he's much of any different than any other version of Tommy, in my opinion. I could be wrong about that. Maybe I'd have to thumb through Dino Thunder again, but yeah. So, anyways, my last honorable mention to be Coda. from Super Dino Charge because we want to make this bad boy 2 for 2. If anything, I don't like Kota, in all brutal honesty, but since he had beaten a zombie apocalypse before, again, 2 for 2 there, Kota. So, alright, let's get into the actual main list here, and with that, we're going to have actually some pictures. So, we'll actually have those. When I get into the second list, there's not going to be pictures, so sadly enough. Anyways, let's pause here. Let's get to that. Alright, my number 1 draft pick is to be none other than Adam from Power Rangers Zeo. Adam is to go on and I think to be a wild card because he's kind of all over the place with Mighty Morphin so far. He is to go on and spend quite a bit of time with Billy and work with him. He can kind of be a jack of all trades. He can kind of be used anywhere. Here is why I ultimately chose Adam. So most of these, you're going to see probably a pattern, or you're going to see a special ability that could be really well used in a zombie apocalypse. But Adam specifically, we have an episode in Zeo. Plus, also, I like Adam as a Green Ranger more so than I do a black one. No offense to people that probably feel differently. But Adam was to have gone on and done an episode called It Came from Angel Grove, where Adam goes on and binge watches a bunch of horror films. So that tells me that he probably has a bit of knowledge of the supernatural. But then also, Adam goes on to fall asleep. He dreams. And in his dream, he faces off against vampires, Frankensteins, mummies, werewolves, everything in between. And he finds a way to either outsmart them or run away from them, whatever he needs to do to go on and be able to survive, and he continues to do so. So, in all honesty, like, if Adam can go on in his dream and probably face off against these things and do pretty well, in reality, maybe it could go on and be the exact same thing. Plus, also the knowledge of all these things, yeah, like, we can consider that Adam would probably do very well in a zombie apocalypse just because of his utter knowledge of the horror genre. So, that is to be a fairly just maybe biased pick because of how much I like Adam, but also there is the justification there of at least he is to have done some horror genre homework. So that is that for you. Next up, we have Amelia from Cosmic Fury. So, one, without Amelia going on and being a paranormal investigator, but not much of an eliminator, in Cosmic Fury, Amelia does have a ship. That ship that was to be called like a cruiser or something like that. And if anything, a spacecraft in a zombie apocalypse is a game changer, I feel. You can go on and you can evacuate the planet. You could go on and you could have all the Power Rangers just make their way onto Amelia's ship to just kind of weather this whole zombie apocalypse and kind of plan things out and do any number of things within a ship. That's a game changer. But Amelia is to be a paranormal investigator, and she was to have gone on and had this kind of net weapon that she had with her, and they never really used it on a ghost because it probably wouldn't work on one anyways. But Amelia had gone on to use this net on Ollie, and it worked pretty goddamn well. So, if anything, Amelia could actually use this net as a way to capture these zombies and either figure out a way to cure them or just take them down and then have the rest of the Rangers just kind of do the final blow. So, even with Amelia being out of morphing costume as a civilian, Amelia could be very beneficial. With her supernatural knowledge, her ways of which that were on Dino Fury, where she would go on and do some investigating of supernatural things going on in the town. Yeah. So Amelia would be a pretty good pick. Also, her being a Red Ranger here is like, well, I had to figure out how to put a Red Ranger in here because, like, I think people would be upset if I didn't put one in here. Even though I'm to be not a guy that normally is like wanting to go out of my way to fit a Red Ranger in a team. Like I go on and I actually figure out a way to not have a Red Ranger in a team. It's it's just the way I function as far as putting a team together, and that could be insulting to people. But anyways, at least it's here. At least I did it. Like huzzah! Moving on. So next we have Chip from Mystic Force. Yeah, some people could say, yeah, you should have put Mystic Force like all over this. Like they're wizards. Yeah, like so for Chip specifically, Chip could be a ranger that could easily make the tougher decisions that maybe not any of the other rangers would go on and actually make. And here's why. So Stranger Within gives us a story where one of his own teammates turns into a vampire, and Chip goes on and is to figure that out that V is a vampire from reading a vampire book, and goes on to just watch over V and stops her from hurting anybody, and also fights against her to stop her from hurting people. So, if anything, if another zombie had bitten a Power Ranger unmorphed and that person could turn into a zombie, that could be a tough call for a number of Power Rangers to take that zombied friend of theirs down. But Chip would probably be the one that would go on and be like, "No, I'll do it." Like, like, do you see what I did with my Pink Ranger friend? Yeah, I was willing to go on and do whatever I needed to do to stop her from being a vampire. So, and also Chip is to be a freaking wizard, Harry. Uh, Also his weaponry, like he's a freaking griffin. So yeah, like him also having supernatural knowledge over the rest of his team makes him unique, and also a male Yellow Ranger. Isn't that awesome? Um, so yeah, like I was definitely going to figure out some way of Mystic Force fitting in this list because of how much when I watch those episodes, I'm like, man, I really like this team, but no one cares about it. So that just kind of sucked. So moving on. So now we have Ethan from Dino Thunder. And I know what everybody's thinking. Everybody's disappointed because it's like, wait a minute, this is a Blue Ranger. Are you gonna have another Blue Ranger like Billy? Because we want Billy on this list. I hate to break it to you. So, uh, so I won't. Yeah, Billy's sorry. Uh, but Ethan is a nerdy guy. Ethan is to be a guy that plays video games. We don't know what video games he plays unless it says somewhere on the show. Ethan has hardened skin, is to be his ability. So He's not getting bitten anytime soon. Ethan is to be the perfect guy for a zombie apocalypse. His weapon is also a shield, which, in all honesty, for a zombie apocalypse, a defensive weapon is just effective, if not more, better off to have than a offensive weapon. So, because really, like, you're just trying to establish distance away from the zombie to just avoid infection. So, also, we come to find that Ethan is to have the ability of Super Dino Mode, which has these like porcupine like things coming from his suit that come out as spikes, white spikes, and that right there is to be the perfect, like, his entire suit is like a weapon that could be used to take down zombies. So Ethan has got it freaking made in a zombie apocalypse. Yeah, like, he absolutely will thrive in an environment like this. So, all the more reason to pick Ethan for a zombie apocalypse team. Now we have Rose Ortiz, who's the Pink Ranger from Operation Overdrive. You guys will go on and probably not know who this person is or why I picked them, but she is why I don't have Billy on this team, because she is to be this encyclopedia of knowledge person. She is to also go on and be an expert in robotics, people. Robotics. If you want a whole team of Power Rangers that are robots, Rose could probably make that for you. So, also, Rose is to be a ranger that can turn invisible. What? Yeah, she can be invisible. She can be invisible, and then also, she can be possessed by a ghost. She was possessed by a pirate in one of the episodes. So if you think about it, if people are dropping like flies in the zombie apocalypse, and any ranger is to go on and eventually become a ghost, an actual ghost, Rose could probably get possessed by them, and we could keep rolling on with this whole possession gimmick that she used to have had in the show, and maybe have her be like a possession magnet. It could work. We could kind of keep rolling with this, but also, like, if she's been possessed by this Blackbeard character, maybe that's going to give her a skill that is going to really help her out in battle. I don't know. Either way, Rose Ortiz, to me, it's like there's so many things here that it's like it's undeniable that she could be a huge benefit in a zombie apocalypse. Especially that whole robotics thing, where it's like she could legit make robots that is gonna help us out in a zombie apocalypse. So, who needs to just make an invention? She can make a robot. So next up, we have lastly for this list, we have Ryan, who's the Titanium Ranger from Lightspeed Rescue. I know a lot of people thinking Ryan is a Sixth Ranger may not make a lot of sense to a lot of people, because there are Sixth Rangers that are way more overpowered than Ryan is. So they may not get this. Like, man, you can go on and pick a Ranger that has this tech that can wipe everybody out. Da, 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 da. Like, here's where I'm going with here. So, Ryan, if you guys do not know, has been raised by demons. Raised by demons. Do you think that Ryan picked up a thing of supernatural stuff here and there because of spending some time with demons? Being raised by them? Yeah, I think he has. So, that right there gets him all the street cred to make me believe that Ryan could be a really good asset in a zombie apocalypse. As well as also, the Titanium Ranger has a weapon that has a double purpose. Ryan has a weapon that is to have long range attacks, as well as also close combat, because it adjusts to be an axe or it adjusts to be a gun. So Ryan is looking pretty good right now, in my opinion. As well as also, like, I loved Lightspeed Rescue. I was to say, man, that show was so underrated to me. If I could have chosen more Lightspeed Rescue people, I would have, because it's very tempting to just choose Carter, but it just didn't make sense. It like there was nothing that I could say logically that could have him fit in here, because what would I do with Amelia then? Because she has knowledge that just Carter just doesn't have. So, but if anything, that's weird to say because Carter had gone on to fight demons. But again, Ryan was raised by them. Years of experience. So, a little bit different. A little bit different. So, now, let's go into the secondary list. So, let's try to ramp through this a little bit quicker because it's not as important, but it still was kind of fun to do. So, and I know a lot of people think it like, wait, where's the Time Force Rangers? Where's the Quantum Ranger? They're all from the future, right? To me, I don't feel that any of the Time Force Rangers, like, what could they do in a zombie apocalypse? Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. Like, what kind of thing would they know that could help out the past? Like, if anything, I think it would be more beneficial if the Time Rangers would come to whatever the current time is, and then they would all they would all be zombies. That would be funny. Like, I would just like, yeah, time traveling zombies. But anyways, but as an honorable mention, because I'll have 4 of them for the secondary list. My first honorable mention for the secondary list is Trip from Time Force, the Green Ranger. So the reason why I chose Trip is because of his psychic abilities, and that's about it. Because I don't know much about Trip. I believe he's an alien from memory. And like, really, like, that's all that I have to think that he is to have any kind of benefit in a zombie apocalypse. Is just using him for his special ability. Because he can see into the future. So yeah, so and I don't even know how strong his psychic abilities really are. I had gone on and seen so many episodes of Time Force, but like, I didn't get a good read on Trip. I don't know what it was. Maybe I'm wrong about that. So next in the honorable mentions, I really had to just put some kind of Red Ranger on here somewhere, because on my core 6, there was not a Red Ranger to be found. So I had to put a Red Ranger somewhere. So I was back and forthing 3 different Red Rangers just because they were my favorite. But like, there was really nothing that was to really be like one thing that had them stand apart in a zombie apocalypse. But so I just went with my favorite because I went with there are probably so few female characters. So I went with Lauren Sheba or Lauren Sheba from Samurai. She was only there for 3 episodes. You know what? Like she was also in Power Rangers Prime, and I didn't really care for that comic book. Uh, what they kind of did in that story was just kind of like, okay, whatever this is. Like I was very disappointed in it, because there was some potential there. Like some of the characters looked interesting. Some of the stuff they were trying to do was like close but no cigar. But anyway, so Lauren Shiva, just because of my severely biased opinion and wanting to see more females in Power Rangers in different colors. So next up, we're kind of using this Power Ranger for his ride, in all brutal honesty. But TJ is really a cool guy. So we're going with TJ from In Space. So Selwyn Ward is the first black leader of the Power Rangers. So let's not forget that. Let's not forget that Power Rangers Turbo. I really liked Selwyn. He was great as a Red Ranger, and if anything, I think that I'd be happy to just kind of see how crap Turbo is, or if people are wrong about it, to really just be like, wow, like I would just be so curious if I'm wrong about what my impulse thing is to just say that like everyone hates Turbo, so I should hate it too. But maybe I'll be wrong. Like a lot of people hate Megaforce, and I don't hate it, so I don't know. But if anything, the reason why we're giving TJ this spot here is because in space he has this thing called the Astro Mega Ship, and I could have gone with Andros because he has telekinesis, but I honestly don't really know where Andros's head is at. In all brutal honesty, there's a lot of times where Andros is to be written as a villain, and sometimes he's written as a good guy. So I don't know what side he's on really. Like I can't trust him, so I'm not going to go with Andros, regardless of his telekinesis ability that I can use as a benefit in a zombie apocalypse, maybe. But I'm sorry, but no. I'll go with the safer bet, which is TJ. Uh, because he's a really good leader, and I just like he's likable. So we'll go with that. But we really need his Astro Mega Ship so we can go on and just try to avert this crisis or be able to save ourselves from dwindling numbers by commandeering his ride. Or hopefully we can commandeer his ride because maybe we won't because of already us ticking off Andros by not trusting him. But it's true, right? Like, anyways. So the last honorable mention is to be Orion from Super Megaforce. He's a Silver Ranger. So I know everybody has their feelings about Super Megaforce, but when you have a character that can basically be any freaking Ranger, like, how could I not ignore that? Plus, also, Orion has this special ability of him when he turns like gold or when he has that gold armor on. He can do this attack that is to have 6 Rangers all come come in as these like almost like spirits or whatever kind of figures, and they come in and they do these attacks. Why would you not go on and want that on at least like an honorable mention, if nothing else? Because really, I also when getting to my core six, like people are probably gonna hate some of these choices, but I don't care. Like it's my list. I had fun, so let's get into the six here. So first up, uh, let's go with Kira Ford from Dino Thunder, who's the Yellow Ranger in that. Kira is to have this Sonic Scream, which could be very beneficial if she's not morphed to help her out in a zombie apocalypse fight to get people away from her. And then also you have Kira that has in the past worked with a mixed team of Power Rangers instead of one uh, team of all the same Rangers. So besides her own season. So Kira is good to mix it up. Plus, also, there had been that one episode where Kira had turned evil and there was the whole bone thing. And if Kira can take down a bag of bones, she could probably take down a zombie, right? She could probably, if she could take a fossil down, she could take an actual thing that has skin on it, right? So I'll go with Kira. Plus, I also think that she's really attractive. So it is what it is there. She's good looking. So now let's go on, and we have to get a tech guy, right? Or a tech gal? Well, in this case, it could be a tech guy. So since I didn't go on and I didn't mention him in the other list, let's mention Billy. So Billy is the guy that could probably invent anything. Like he could probably eventually be a guy that is to uh, be like the guy that becomes like the beat all ranger, which is weird. Uh, he could be the one that wins every battle because he just outsmarts everybody. So it was interesting to go on and see that they would try to clone Billy or that they would try to uh, duplicate Billy. It's because yeah, like Billy becomes an incredible threat, as well as also he is a ladies' man as well as also. So like, man, Billy has it all. In a zombie apocalypse, maybe Billy being a ladies' man may not be a good thing, but uh, if anything, also like Billy had gone on to eventually be an Aquitar, and he had a woman there, so maybe he won't be going on and pining away for any human woman because he's still having that that thought about Aquitar, the back of his mind. Anyways, so then we go on to RJ from Jungle Fury. RJ is to be a good mentor ranger. If anything, I would probably say that RJ should be taking point here. He should be like the leader character, and then everybody kind of falls behind him. Uh, RJ is to have also had a supernatural bout with being a werewolf. Briefly, uh, it would be kind of fun to see if RJ could have figured out a way to still be a werewolf at some points. Because if anything, like that would make him not be human and that would make him be a werewolf. So maybe RJ can go on and kind of guide the whole werewolf thing and make it a target and have it like take down some zombies. Uh yeah. Maybe there is like a thing that could kind of be fun for a supernatural story if RJ is to be still being able to, from time to time, bring out that werewolf in him, or out of him. So that'd be fun, right? So next up, we have the Phantom Ranger. Phantom Ranger, the only reason why I really have him on this list is because he turns invisible. The Phantom Ranger is most of the time pretty weak, though. He depends on that whole Ruby thing, and also he depends on his love for Cassie. And if they're gonna make it work, because basically you never see who he really is. So yeah, like for the Phantom Ranger, they did do that whole comic book thing. Excuse me. The Phantom Ranger is weak. So if the Phantom Ranger is to be put in a zombie apocalypse, he probably won't get very far, but at least he will be an interesting character nonetheless. I probably could have gone on and probably could have switched Phantom Ranger with like Tommy Oliver from Dino Thunder, which I honestly didn't because Billy and Tommy being in the same thing, like no, I wanted to kind of switch it up. It seemed like I was kind of going for too much Mighty Morphin here. But anyways, yeah, like Phantom Ranger is kind of this unique character. So next to almost last, we have Sam, the Omega Ranger from SPD. So at least this character is a future character. So for those of you that are saying like, well, hey, Time Force, Future Ray, like, here's the thing. So Sam, compared to all the other Future Rangers, Sam has a special ability that none of them have. Sam can turn into a ball of light, which makes him easily to be able to get away in certain situations, to escape. As well as also, Sam becoming a ball of light has him not become a zombie. So, man, Sam going on and Sam, even if he, like, I could have maybe even replaced on the first team, I could have replaced Ryan with Sam, honestly. And that's almost where I was going with for the first list. To have Sam be on that list. Because it made the most sense. Because he is to be a ball of light that. How can you go on? How can you attack that? How can you destroy that? If you're a zombie. I just don't think that that's going to work out. So, if anything, yeah, like Sam would be, I think, very perfect with a zombie apocalypse because there's no way anybody could touch him. But, like Ryan, I think just has more accumulative knowledge, possibly that could trump just Sam's certain just ball of light ability. But god dang, was that just like, man, that was a stroke of genius. When I was to have remembered Sam being a ball of light. Because people hate that character for how he's either just morphed or he's a ball of light. But that idea would work perfectly in a zombie apocalypse because he's never really there. So he's not really in danger. So to me, it's a good idea. So last, so I want to say here, before I get to this last character, that there could have been a lot of better choices here. There could have been more powerful characters being put in place here than who I chose. But this person could be all of those characters if they really wanted. The only thing is it all comes down to personality. And sometimes you really just want a bubbly, nice girl. And so that's why I went with Emma from Super Mega Force. She's the Pink Ranger. If anything, also, she's a photographer, and maybe that could go on and really benefit in this battle because maybe she has a keen eye for things. Maybe she can go on and see when a person's infected or not. But also, Emma can go on and become any ranger. Yeah, she won't have their personality. She won't have their exact martial arts combative skill, but it doesn't matter because she could just keep rolling through all these rangers. And even if a ranger does become infected themselves, then Emma could become that person. Or also, so yeah, so to make things even. So yeah, so Emma I think is a good choice because she could be anybody. She's a wild card. Uh, Plus also she's another woman. And I wanted to make things very even and like I don't think I like I would have wanted to probably also like make sure uh that everything about this list was equal and logical and uh maybe there's something that I missed here somewhere. Maybe there's a character that I'm not quite familiar with that you're gonna go on and tell me, oh yeah, wait a minute, like this character has this expertise in this field. Why didn't he say that? And that could be a thing that I overlooked. I have no idea uh, how many things I am to probably just not know about. Uh, that could have been like, oh man, that could have even been better if I would have chose that. Because mistakes could be made. Um, but if anything, also like I think the very first list is pretty solid. But let me know in the comments below. I know what a lot of people could also be thinking for a zombie apocalypse. Then how like all the rangers would need to go on and do it, they would just go on and just need to have the zombies all go into one place, and then they could haul in all the zords and just blast them away, or they could go on and just have the megazord just kind of stomp the zombies with its boot. And it's hard to not argue that yeah, that could just be an easy answer, but like I think too you could probably go on and you could start turning the zombies also gigantic. So it can almost be like an Attack on Titan situation going on here, where you could have also these giant humans as well as or giant zombies as well as also uh, the normal kind of size ones too. But if any, yeah, like because who knows how this infection is gonna just go or spread or whatever. So it doesn't always have to just be just a ranger fight. It could be a Megazord battle also. Plus, hence why you have so many people uh, that are these different colors instead of the same color because how are they going to man the Zords? Uh, when uh, you can also not have the exact same team. Like the Rangers could just go into any. They could just go in to make any Megazord that kind of matches their color, and then poof, like because we're really not going to go on and try to figure out how to match uh, try to figure out how to match all the Zords together. That would just be ridiculous. If anything, we'd just be better off going on and doing what they did in Cosmic Fury, where uh, they could they could have any Blue Ranger like wield the Blue Ranger Zord, or any uh, Red Ranger man the Red Ranger Zord. Like it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be that narrow and specific. That it has to be the exact perfect Zord. Plus, also Billy can go on it and just he has adjusted so many Zords over so many episodes that I've seen already that I'm sure he can work anything out. So, uh, but if anything, also, if I haven't said this already, I have gone on to also just kind of theory craft my own kind of Power Ranger team, which is to just kind of deal with a tarot card theme. And I've said this in a specific video in the past. On its own, but I'm really actually starting to get quite a bit of helmets together, of ideas of how to actually make that be a thing. Like, uh, I've already kind of figured out how to make like the Judgment helmet, which I'm kind of not sure quite exactly what color that's going to end up being. Like, it's either green or red or something right now. I have no idea. But then also, uh, like, I think if, like, because a tarot, there's two tarot cards that have a moon and a sun. And I think I could just have both of them combined together and they can just be time. Because technically, if you have a moon and sun together, it's basically just day and night. Isn't that just time, anyways? So you could go on and make a ranger just have a hourglass just logo on their face, and uh, you could just go on and have in the hourglass, like on one side of the hourglass, it could be the sun, and then one side could be the moon, and yeah, that could be time. Uh, it's kind of manipulative of the cards to kind of combine them together, but anyways, it might just make more sense. Then we could just have like a heart for lover or something like that. Like I think there's been a too many heart kind of things, but if anything, like what else could you symbolize lovers for? Or you can just come up with some other card. There's be like cards that have like swords on them, so you could do that as a tarot card head helmet. Uh, like the magician one, you could probably go on like I was just thinking the eye one that I had for the idea for like, hey, this could be like the catch all thing. Like, if there's some card that doesn't just quite fit, maybe it'll just fit under the eye thing. So yeah, if anything, like let me know in the comments below your theory crafting of maybe your own Power Ranger season, because I'm sure your idea is gonna be way better than mine. Like I think I've gone on and gone to the same well too often with the ideas that I have, and maybe they're not even good ideas because feasibly, uh, like I think everything has probably been done with Power Rangers to the point to where they're just like, the only course of action we can go on and do is just reboot Power Rangers now. That's all we can do. Because yeah, any new idea is not going to work. It's not going to sell as good as prior season. So, or even comic books. Comic books are going on and just kind of focusing on Power Rangers and nothing else, or Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, nothing else. So, because Power Ranger comic books need to focus on Power Rangers anyways. So, I don't know. With this said, or with that said, I just wanted to just do this as a fun exercise, and also like, uh, I wanted to actually just do a theory crafting thing. I want to be creative. I want to just do something different. So if this doesn't do well, that's okay because I'll just keep trying to do videos. I'll just keep trying, and hopefully, uh, people like what I do in the future. So I don't know. If anything, maybe people like these third crafting videos. Maybe they'll want some in the future. But either way, like time will tell after I upload this. So thank you for watching this. Thank you for taking the time for checking this out. For however long you were to watch this, I really do appreciate it. Uh, thank you everybody for actually really watching these videos because like I'm seeing things just view wise just going really just going up. I'm going on and seeing people subscribe and I'm like, man, I'm grateful for everybody who's going to go on and do any of that. Because really, I was to go on and just be like, man, like there were times where I was just kind of like, I think this is it. Like I think like I don't think I can go anywhere anymore. Uh, because I was just so extremely burnt out, and I was just like, yeah, I've run out of ideas. But I weirdly am just having like an upswing of just uh like it's I'm choosing the right things at the right time, but like it's nowhere near prior stuff, but I'm just kind of leaving it as like but like I'm at least having a momentum kind of swing going on here. So uh thank you for watching this. I do appreciate it. Let's get out of here. Bye buddy. Bye buddy.